It says
Canary,
something about you're more likely to be killed by a donkey or something than die in a plane crash.
That's probably true. Yeah. Again, statistically, in the number of
That's why I won't go near donkeys. They're renowned killers. Yeah.
But there was that thing about the madness of like when Donald Trump wanted to ban from 7 Muslim countries. It was something like the more toddlers had killed Americans with guns than Americans have been killed by foreign terrorists.
Yeah,
So
there's always stats like that.
it's like,
More people have died because they were surprised that a feather flew into their path. There's always
I
stuff
know
like
exactly.
that.
Yeah, and office accidents. That's quite a lot. Like things falling on you in an office or
The stats on things like that are amazing. It always turns out there's like 200 people have died off a stapler or something.
Just living in a house and going to the shops coming back, you've got more chance of dying every day than being killed by these crazy. Yeah. Unless you're obviously in a war zone or you've time travelled back to 1940 with nothing.
Your danger level is very high there, I think.
Yeah. The average paratrooper in the Second World War, once he left the plane, his life expectancy was something like 7 minutes.
Yeah,
that was just. Yeah,
you wouldn't start watching a box set or something, would you?
Well, no. But I think people forget that a lot of the time that was known, they were fodder to soak up enemy ammo. Like, so
they were
landing on the beach. They were literally, like some of the Russian, there were more soldiers than guns. So you'd run behind them, and when someone in front got shot, you'd pick up their gun. So you had it was like you soaked up enemy ammo.
I'm starting to be glad I missed the war.
Honestly, we don't. Honestly, we don't know we're born. I think of I was even scared, right? So I'd heard the war, and I was born in 1961. So in the 60s, if you think that how close that was to the war, I was growing up as a kid closer to the war than we are now to Kurt Cobain killing himself. I mean, that's a frightening stat.
Remarkable,
Do you know what I mean? It's like the war wasn't over in terms of like memory and lifestyle. But my next door neighbour had an Anderson shelter still. It was just still in her back garden, and there were still places that hadn't been rebuilt yet. Right? So I grew up with people talked about the war all the time. And then I remember when I was a student, this skinny, really skinny little guy with dyed black hair who was into Duran Duran and the Falklands War, and I was terrified. I remember thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have to go to war.
Yeah, we're all going to the Falklands.
And my brother said, well, they weren't conscript for that. He was too stupid, right? I went, how old's conscription, right? I went, well, you stop being conscripted anyway when you're in your 20s, right? And what I said, well, 26, I think, they don't conscript anyway, right? And I remember thinking I was 26, I was thinking, I can't go to war now. That's it.
I've made it.
Yeah, I remember thinking about going to war as well. Apart from getting killed and being terrified, I still think of war as like the trenches. And so I was thinking, there must be spiders in there. There must be spiders in these.
That was your main concern.
I was
your biggest fear, isn't it?
Yeah, thinking, oh my God, I got people firing at me, and there's a big spider in the corner.
I mean, it's one thing.
I wouldn't know. I'd be torn. I think if a spider came to maul me, I'm gonna have to get out of this trench.
Yeah.
So it's get shot or be terrified by an 8-legged fucking alien.